Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's Blair Dot and Haley, the host of the Delgado Tech Collab podcast. And listen, y'all, I could not be, I know, wait a minute. I know I say this every time. And I say this every time because every time I am equally overjoyed at the guest that I am graced to be sitting virtually across from. And this month's episode is no different. I'm excited to welcome my dear sister and colleague. She is a tech media, social media maven. She's a professor. She's all the things, and you'll understand why I said all that I just said to describe her as we dig into who it is that she is and what it is that she has and is doing in the world. Please welcome to the Delgado Tech Collab podcast, my dear sister and colleague, Michelle Jackson.
Hi, Blair. So wonderful to be
Hey.
here with you. I'm so excited to be a part of the Tech Collab podcast. Love it, love it.
Well, listen, the people may not know that you are way more a part of it on a more regular basis than this. And so I'm really glad to have you on this side of the camera, in the hot seat, if you will, to really share who it is that you are in the world, what it is that you are doing, and what all is going on. So let's dive right in because these are short. Let's just get to it. I gotta ask you. We met as a in connection to this project, right? Talk to me though about how you got here, right? You're a Black woman in tech, which is unfortunately still percentage-wise an anomaly.
Wow, it's funny you said that, a Black woman in tech. I never see myself that way, but I have had an interesting career. I spent years running shopping malls in Alabama and Georgia. Then I got my master's in public administration, went to work at writing policy for the state of Maryland, helped to write a bill that raised $84 million for startup companies. And so in that, I got to work with tech companies from literally all over the world. People wanted to come into Baltimore and actually win money that we had in our competitions, as well as do business with the state of Maryland. And so working in economic development opened me up to the world of technology. And I ended up actually running a division for the state of Maryland that focused on high tech. So I'm not a technologist, but I'm someone who loves tech. And so because of my interest in tech, a lot of things have happened. I have a PR firm and I see it as 21st century PR because we are focused on digital marketing and digital media, working on projects like the Tech Collab podcast with great people like you and Delgado. Helped to start that. I've started other podcasts. I am a podcaster. I'm also a social media influencer, I guess you could say. I don't know. If you're 49, I don't know if you could be an influencer, but yeah, I guess you could say.
You
I'm a
can have
writer.
influence at any age.
I see. So I have a community. I'm a 3 times published author, and so I have a community of 16,000 writers on social media that I curate and moderate and
It's
host
funny, as you
virtual
started
events.
talking, I said, "Oh, that's right, she's an author too." See, y'all, this is what I was talking about. This is why it was difficult for me to get through the list of, you're a Renaissance woman in a lot of ways, a media Renaissance woman.
But when I was in college, I didn't even have an email address. So when you think about how much things have evolved over the years, for me, I had to learn social media and digital marketing and podcasting and all those things on my own. And so I've been able to use technology in some cool ways and really advance myself to do that. But my husband's a cybersecurity engineer, so I have worked with tech in many ways. I helped to do marketing and PR for the Cyber Maryland conference, for the Cyber Texas conference, and now we just started the Cyber NOLA Summit. And so I've been working with technologists for years and just always so inspired by the innovation. And as a Black woman, as a Black person in period, tech is a huge part of our lives. It's something we can't be afraid of, something we have to really get in there and get to know and connect with so that we can use it in order to move our ideas forward.
Wow. Talk to us. You mentioned your community of authors. You mentioned the amount of work that you did helping startups raise money. Talk to us about why it's been important for you to use your gifts and talents to create a stage for other people.
I think that's my overall mission in life. I mean, people talk about their talents. I think I'm someone who was put here to be a supporter of other people. I like to help people grow and win. And so over the years, as I've seen things grow, of course, we see where as African Americans, we don't progress in certain fields. And what I saw, especially when I was with the state of Maryland, was that the tech industry was a very resilient industry where people were able to make good money and prosper. And I wanted to see more of us in that field. So I would work to make sure that everything that I touched had a level of diversity and inclusion in it. And I'm still doing that. And with the Black Writers Workspace, which is a community that kind of formulated, I feel like organically, we were shut down because of COVID. And I just published my second book, didn't know how I was going to promote it.
Come on, second book.
Yeah, my second book. And I said, I'm going to start this Facebook group, this private group. I had about 10 friends who had published books. I was like, it'll be the 10 of us. We're going to have fun and just talk about writing. And then I looked up and it was 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. Now we're at 16,000 people.
Wow.
And as an entrepreneur, I was like, how do I take this and do something with it that's going to be supportive for all writers? And so we have now a podcast, workshops, book fairs. We hosted our first book fair here in New Orleans in January, and we're going to do it again next May. So it just turned into something bigger, and I've just been able to learn from it and learn from people like you who have a great following of friends and follow, people who follow you and support you. And I've been really grateful that I can give back in that way to help these writers as well as to help technologists locally.
Oh, well, listen, it sounds like you have really found purpose in a lot of ways, right? Because you are not only an actual professor and teacher, but a teacher to so many, support for so many. I always like to ask people about the intersection of technology and hustle, right? With all of the different projects you have going on, you are definitely about the hustle. How has you talked about learning technology and learning social media as an older learner, right? I often like to joke that I was an adult already when social media, I was grown already when social media became a thing, right? I actually would not say luxury of growing up with, I had the luxury of not growing up with social media. But talk to me, to all of us about the benefits and what you have learned about what technology can do when you intersected with your own hustle and your own purpose.
Technology opens the world up for us. It gives us an opportunity to connect with people on a global level, something we couldn't do before. A lot of us, especially some of our older people, we especially those of us who have teens, we get a little frustrated with technology. It feels overwhelming to know that your kid is on social media all the time, they've got their phone in their hand. But actually, the idea that this is a negative and not a positive is something that we have to get away from. Technology and innovation is something that this country has thrived on, and something that I think we should all be focused in to make sure that we grow and be aware of how it benefits us, but also be aware of how it can also hurt us, how it can be a negative. And so I think technology is I'm a tech lover who is not tech savvy as you may think, but I am someone who has seen how technology has evolved fields like public relations and marketing, how it has evolved, how we communicate with each other, how we relate to each other, how we date. I mean, technology has been a part of everything. And it's something that we have to learn to embrace with understanding that there are always going to be those negative sides to it. So I encourage people, especially parents, to learn. I'm on TikTok, I'm on, Facebook and Instagram, and I can talk to my son about things that are happening, and we can relate around technology. And that has been a great parenting tool for me versus just getting angry about it and saying, put your phone down. I went through that phase. Put your phone down. And he'll say, Mama, but you got your phone in your hand. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Let's rethink this because it's got to be fair. But I think that the way tech is used in order to improve our lives is something that we should really embrace, with the understanding that there are always going to be some negative parts to it, but don't be afraid of the future, and a lot of us are operating with that fear. No need to. We have to embrace technology.
What's one thing that you have learned that you can share, either about yourself or about the world, in this journey that you're on?
I have learned that I never wanted to be one layered. I never wanted to be one layer of skin. I wanted to be multiple things. I always, a little girl growing up in the projects, I wanted to be, I used to say queen of the world, not president. I was going to make up a title for myself. I wanted to be a best-selling author. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't always have the things that I needed. I had the people that supported me, but I didn't always have like the mentors, because people in my community had their hair down and were working hard. And so what I've learned is that it's okay to be an entrepreneur, a writer, a wife, a mother, a friend. It's okay to be all those different things. You don't have to put yourself in a box. And once I became very comfortable with that I was going to do a lot of different things, and it really has brought forth so much in my life, so much greatness in my life. And I thank my family for that, because they know that if I come home with an idea, hey, let's do a book fair. Hey, let's do this. They just support me. They're like, we don't know what this is about, but we love you. We know it's going to work out, and it always works out. So it's good to know, especially as a female, that you don't have to put yourself in a box. You can be many things, and it's okay.
Yeah, we first met at one of your events, and I have to say I was in awe of just not only the event itself, but the way that you masterfully executed stressless the day of. You should be studied uh, for how to do that. Let's talk about Delgado, because this project that we've been working on together, I've it has been such a fulfilling project, right? Talk to folks about why continuing education is important, why it should be taken advantage of, and then talk to us about some of the opportunities that you are aware of that exist.
I think it's important, especially here in New Orleans, and I'm not from New Orleans. So I've had to come, and I've just learned to love the community. This is home for me. I've been here 8 years. I love the city. And I can tell you that, always tourism and hospitality is going to be the major industries here. However, a shift or a pivot towards tech is going to really make the community sustainable. It's going to make the local economy sustainable. And so, these ideas of working with colleges like Delgado, where you've got a 2-year college that you can get an associate's degree at, but also you can also get these certifications, which is the program that you and I represent, is the Workforce IT division, where you can get a tech certification in a matter of weeks. And you think about that, if you don't want to go the traditional route of a 4-year college or even a 2-year college, but you can go and get a cybersecurity certification, a network IT certification. Now they even have drone certifications where you can fly drones. These are the things that are going to be game changers for the city, because even if students aren't interested, like you said, in that traditional path, that we may have taken, they can still get into the field of tech and make really good money and be a part of innovation, a part of change. And so that's what's important to me about Delgado and all community colleges and all colleges that have a workforce initiative like Workforce IT, is the fact that they are looking they're reimagining education, in my opinion, in a different light, thinking about this newer generation who may not want to walk that traditional path and saying, look, You can get your Scrum Master certification at Delgado Workforce IT in 4 days. What certification can you get in 4 days? I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, that's what I love about what they're doing. I think it's a game changer for New Orleans. I think that Delgado and all of these organizations here who are focusing on tech, they're looking towards the future, and you have to look towards the future if you really want to grow these communities. So, just happy to be a part of it.
Hmm. Let's pivot to something a little lighter as we are approaching the holidays. We're getting close. Halloween is right around the corner. Sweet potato or pumpkin?
Sweet potato.
You said that like that's not that like it's just a given.
Alabama. I don't think I mean, I'm sure I've had pumpkin.
All right.
Yeah, sweet
All
potato.
right. All right. All right. I'll give you that. Um, what how can the folks who are listening uh support you, connect with you, learn more about what you're doing, join your community of authors? Tell us all the things that we can do to support you.
Well, it's so many different pieces, but I'm so happy you asked that question because I love to connect. The Black Writers Workspace is on Facebook. That's our private group, 16,000 people. You're welcome to join. I moderate it, meaning I approve everybody going on and every post that goes on. So it's a space for positivity. And what we do there is we just talk about writing and how we publish our works. I'm also a 3 times published author. You can find my information on my website at author Michelle D. Jackson, and you can purchase one of my books. I have a new book called Poppy Makes Cajun Popcorn Magic. It is kind of a graphic novel, comic book using a young girl named Poppy who lives in New Orleans, and she's creating a popcorn seasoning. And so it's a 49-page, fully illustrated comic book style piece of work, and it really teaches our young people how to start a business. And so I'm really big on youth entrepreneurship, and I do have a nonprofit called Life Skills, and we focus on youth entrepreneurship. We also have a youth entrepreneurship program, grant program, as well as a competition. I'm a adjunct at Tulane. I teach economic development and urban transformation. I'm really excited about that. Everything that we teach is about New Orleans. It's about teaching our young next gen public servants how to be effective, ethical, inclusive servants in this city. And I love that as well. And I'm about to do something I'm really excited about, which is to start my own imprint so that I can start publishing books for people. I'm really excited about that. We'll be kicking that off in the next month. And then, of course, we're going to have our book fair. So join us in May at City Park at the Pavilion of Two Sisters. That's May 11th. If you want a booth, we have those available. And then, of course, there's PR Solutions, which is my company. I hadn't even really talked a lot about that, but PR Solutions is my public relations company. And
Listen, you got so
I've
much
been
going on.
yeah, I've been so happy to work with local companies like, oh man, Foundation for Louisiana, Delgado, Major Services. I have worked with so many amazing companies right here in New Orleans, and just hope to continue to do that and to continue to consult and work with as many people as possible. So I hope everybody also finally will come out to Cyber NOLA, which is going to be October 31st at the Bio Innovation Center that is hosted by Delgado Workforce IT and Geno Inc. And we're going to have a full day of people talking about cybersecurity jobs, businesses. It's going to be a dynamic event. And so that's, in a nutshell, the things that I'm working on. I may have forgot some things, so just follow me. I'm out there. And I hope that I can continue to work with the community and continue to work with great people like you. Like, you welcomed me here in New Orleans, and I'm so grateful for that. So thank you for it. I really appreciate it.
Listen, we're glad to have you. We're always grateful for people who come into the city with the intention and the action of loving on, respecting, and helping to take New Orleans to the next place for the future. Has their eye on this, on making sure that New Orleans is ready for the future. And so thank you for all of the work that you are doing. I am so grateful for the opportunity that we get to work together. Y'all, I get to work with this lady very, very often. I think I have a new nickname for you after this conversation. We'll talk about that soon. But Michelle, thank you so, so much for all that you have done and all that you do in the world to help others both find and manifest their purpose. It is a noble mission that you are on and a divine purpose, I would say. And so I'm grateful for the opportunity that we get to share, that we get to create, that we get to work side by side. Before we go, I'd like you to leave the people with something. So before we go, Michelle, what would you like to leave with the people this afternoon?
I've lived in a lot of cities. I'm a military wife for 19 years. I love New Orleans. I think it's just an amazing place. And so I just want to, yeah, I've never had a chance to do this, but just thank everyone for, working with me here and being and allowing me to kind of get into the groove of New Orleans. I'm still trying to learn some things, but it's just been a wonderful experience. I spent years in Pittsburgh and Baltimore, and then I was just so excited to get back to the South. So you got a beautiful thing going on in the city, and I'm just happy to be a part of it. I just want to tell everybody that, and for those out there who are interested in getting into the tech field, go for it. You don't have to just know the code to get into tech. So let's look at all these tech fields and really go out there and grow our economy by creating a very big and growing tech ecosystem. I think that's going to be key. So thank you so much, Blair. You're always so wonderful to talk to.
Thank you, Michelle. Everybody, make sure that you check out Research Delgado Community College's programs, especially those around workforce and IT development. You can find out all of what's available, including a lots of what Michelle shared today around some of the certifications that are available. Go to dcc.edu and look up and your future is waiting for you, is what I'll say to anybody listening. Go fearlessly forward toward it. Michelle, thank you so much. Y'all, we just had the Queen of the World on our show. I don't know what else to say after this. I'll be back next month with another extraordinary guest. I don't know how we top the Queen of the World, but we're going to do our best. Take care, everybody. I'm Blair Dotton Haley, your host. So glad for this time that we share together. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.
Thank you.